All right, let's dive into the wild world of cryptocurrency. It's this incredible, groundbreaking technology, but it's also a digital frontier that's full of hidden traps. Our mission today is pretty simple. We're going to arm you with the knowledge you need to navigate this space safely. So let's get right to it.
So you look at crypto and you have to wonder, is this a golden ticket or a digital minefield? And the honest answer is it's both. The potential upside is absolutely massive, no doubt about it. But so are the risks. And in this world, understanding those risks isn't just a good idea. It is absolutely essential if you want to survive.
This quote just perfectly captures the whole situation. Think of crypto as a brand new game, right? It's exciting, it's high stakes, but it's also a harsh experiment that has very real and often very painful consequences if you don't know the rules. Our goal today is to make sure you know them. Okay, first up, let's tackle the giant forces that you really can't control, the market itself. These are the risks that affect everyone, whether you're a total beginner or a seasoned pro. And it really just boils down to two big things: those wild price swings and the platforms you use to trade. The very first thing you have to wrap your head around with crypto is its extreme volatility. Prices can and do skyrocket or completely collapse in a matter of hours, often with absolutely zero warning. We're not talking about your typical stock market ups and downs here. This is a whole different level of intensity. And for a real-world example, you don't have to look any further than Bitcoin. It hit its peak near $69,000 in late 2021, but just a year later, it had crashed all the way down below $16,000. That's a mind-blowing 77% drop. Just try to imagine over 3/4 of your investment just vanishing. That's the reality of crypto volatility. So how should you really think about this? Well, the best analogy I've ever heard is that it's a financial roller coaster. But it's a roller coaster that's missing the seatbelts. The ride up can be absolutely exhilarating, for sure, but the drops are terrifying, and they can be financially devastating if you aren't prepared for them. So let's say you've done it. You bought some crypto on an exchange, and it's just sitting there in your account. But I want you to ask yourself a really critical question. Is it really yours? And the answer to that question leads us to one of the biggest and maybe most misunderstood risks in this entire space. And this brings us to what is probably the most important mantra in all of crypto. Not your keys, not your coins. It means that if you don't personally control the private keys, that secret code that proves you own the assets, then you don't truly own them. See, when your crypto is sitting on an exchange, they hold the keys. This isn't just some technical detail, it's a fundamental shift. You're not holding the asset, you're holding an IOU from a company. Let's just break down what that really means. When your crypto is on an exchange, they control the keys, which means you're exposed to their risks. They could go bankrupt, like FTX did. They could get hacked. They could just freeze your account for any reason. At that point, you're basically just a creditor hoping to get your money back. But in your own wallet, you control the keys. You are the one and only owner. Now that shifts all the responsibility onto your shoulders, but it gives you absolute, undeniable control. Okay, so beyond the market itself, there's a whole other category of risk. And this one, well, it's all about you. It's the human factor. This is where your personal vigilance, your skepticism, that becomes your primary shield against losing everything. Unfortunately, the crypto world is a total playground for scammers, and they love to prey on both greed and just plain carelessness. They'll create these worthless, fake tokens that look totally legitimate to lure you in. They'll promise impossible returns in classic pyramid schemes. They'll coordinate these pump and dump schemes to manipulate prices, and they are constantly trying to trick you with phishing attacks to steal your private keys. The most important takeaway here is this: there is no such thing as a guaranteed high return in crypto. It just doesn't exist. So if you ever see a project promising something like 20% returns per month, you need to run. That is not an investment opportunity. That is a massive red flag for a pyramid scheme that's about to collapse. Now let's really focus on the absolute key to your crypto kingdom, the private key. This is not like a password that you can just reset if you forget it. It's a unique cryptographic code that gives you, or anyone who has it, the power to access and spend your funds. If you lose it, or if it gets stolen, your crypto is gone, forever. End of story. The best way to think about it is like this. Imagine burying a chest full of gold and then losing the one and only map that leads to it. The treasure is still there, but it's completely impossible to access. There's no bank you can call, there's no blockchain customer support that's going to help you get it back. The
The responsibility is 100% on you. And this personal responsibility, it extends to every single transaction you make. See, unlike a bank transfer, crypto transactions are completely irreversible. One simple mistake, a typo in a wallet address, sending your funds on the wrong network, means your crypto is just gone for good. There is no undo button. Okay, I know we've just mapped out a pretty intimidating digital minefield, and it is. But the good news is you can build a shield. So let's shift away from the problems and start talking about solutions. Let's walk through a clear, actionable safety plan. Here it is, your 5-step crypto safety plan. This covers everything from having the right mindset to using the right technology, and it's all grounded in a very healthy dose of skepticism. Let's break down the most critical parts. First, and by far the most important, is the golden rule. Given the extreme risks we've talked about, you must only invest money you are fully 100% prepared to lose. If losing that amount of money would negatively impact your life in any serious way, it is too much. This is the absolute bedrock of crypto risk management. Next, let's talk about storage. You've got 2 main types of wallets. Hot wallets are always online, which is convenient for small amounts you want to use, but it makes them vulnerable to hackers. Cold wallets, on the other hand, are kept completely offline. They're like a digital vault. For any serious amount of crypto, cold storage isn't just a good idea, it's the only way to go. This is how you truly own your keys and therefore own your coins. So let's just recap the core principles here. Success in crypto isn't really about being a genius who can pick the next big winner. It's about managing risk. For any investment that you care about, cold storage is completely non-negotiable. And finally, because this space moves so incredibly fast, you have to realize that continuous learning is your best long-term defense. And this all leaves us with a final, pretty provocative question that really gets to the very heart of this technology. For centuries, our entire financial system has been built on trusting institutions, banks, governments. Cryptocurrency proposes this radical alternative, a system that's built on trusting pure mathematics and code. So the fundamental question as this technology keeps evolving is this: what do we ultimately trust more, the state or the algorithm?